Again. DE2HIT 59675. Thank you. Norway 6 Alpha Radio.
Kilo 9 Delta Uniform Romeo.
K9DUR 59676.
59008.
Thank you. November 6 Alpha Radio. Germany 2 Kilo 59677. Is it Germany 2 Kilo? Again? W2TIO? W2TIO 59677. What's my number?
018. Thank you. Good luck. Victor Lima 2 Lima. CQ contest. 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 Victor Lima 2 Lima.
Kilo Echo 5 Mike Tango. Kilo Echo 5 Mike Tango. Kilo Echo 5 Mike Tango.
YW contest.
CQ contest. Whiskey 1 Yankee Whiskey. W1 Yokohama Whiskey. W1YW contest.
Kilo 9 Delta Uniform Romeo.
K9DUR 59142.
59010.
Thank you. W1YW contest. CQ contest. Whiskey 1 Yankee Whiskey. W1 Yokohama Whiskey. W1YW contest. Again. CQ contest. Whiskey 1 Yankee Whiskey. W1 Yokohama Whiskey. W1YW contest.
Kilo Delta 9 Hotel Quebec.
CQ contest, 4 Alpha 90 Quebec Romeo Oscar, 4 Alpha 90 Quebec Romeo.
Papa Julia 2 Tango.
Yo te dejo una noticia y YouTube. Los dos comentarios ahí. Es que yo me acuerdo siempre todavía 2:30 de la mañana. Hasta las 3 a 4. Para en el radio. Estaba esta mañana ahí a las 4 de la mañana en el radio, oye.
Sí, pero ya fue como medio distinto. A mí me pasa igual. Cuando yo estoy...
Vamos a ver ahí, Café 4 Zulu Yankee, si está copiando, si te levantaste, Kilo Alfa 2 WCQ llama.
A veces son las 1 de la mañana, sí, es cierto, y a veces se me pega un sueño ahí como a las 7 de la noche, porque cuando estoy hablando para tiempo de invierno, como a las 7 de la noche, me digo que se me pega como a las 12, 12:30 o a la 1, y después de ahí me vuelvo a
Café 4 Zulu Yankee, tan frecuencia.
y los audífonos puestos, y entonces vuelvo y me da sueño por ahí cuando 5:30, 6 de la mañana, 6:30,
Ya veo ahí. Kilo línea 4, noviembre, sangre, a ver. Ya, yo me voy a hacer ahora. Hoy tengo sueño, aquí tengo sueño. Ya queda un bañito de estar ahí. Pero voy a estar primero un ratito ahí. Y después un bañito, ya tú sabes. Si no me baño la semana que viene, oye.
no te bañes mucho, pero te gasta ahí. Yo creo que sí, ya yo creo que ya bañé.
Sí, está retirado de aquí. Está como a 300 mil. Muchacho, yo creo casi... Tú estabas casi ya pegado a Miami.
Sí, yo estaba más pegado para allá, para Miami. Ya yo estuve por allí, la pasé bien y por ahí cogí crucero y di una vueltita por ahí dando cantazos. Hasta México llegué, la Quintana Roo en México. Y las Bahamas, chacho, la pasé de maravilla.
¿Ahorita en barco o en avión?
Y después cogí barco ahí del puerto de Fort Lauderdale y por ahí subimos por ahí.
Whiskey 5, Golf November. Whiskey 5. Bravo Hotel, contest. Fox Mike 5, Bravo Hotel, contest. Fox Mike.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah, well, we usually with you increase.
Oscar 59460. Thank you, Kilo 9 Charlie Tango contest. Thank you, contest, Kilo 9 Charlie Tango. Kilo 9 Charlie Tango contest. Kilo 9 Charlie Tango contest. Thank you, 59461. Thank you, 4461. Good luck in hand.
Sticky contact.
152, Aloha. At the tone, 13 hours, 30 minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.
Kilo Oscar 4, Mike.
W3 Golf Yankee Mike 591590.
5911.
Thank you. QRZ Kilo Tango 5 Japan.
Kilo Oscar 4, Mike Zulu Delta.
Oscar 4 Mike Zulu Delta 591591.
59 in North Carolina, number 2.
Thank you. QRZ Kilo Tango 5 Japan. 9 Hotel 6 Alpha 591592. Roger. Is that 231? Okay, thank you. QRZ Kilo Tango 5 Japan. Sticky contest, Kilo Tango 5 Japan. QRZ contest, Kilo Tango 5 Japan. Sticky contest, Kilo Tango 5 Japan. Sticky contest, Kilo Tokyo 5 Japan. Take contest, Kilo Tango 5 Japan. Tiki contest, Kilo Tango 5 Japan.
Rudy Test.
That's fine. Thanks. CQRZ contest, KK5I. Hello, CQ contest, KK5I. Kilowatt 5 Italy contest. Hello, CQ contest.
Algo. Pero eso está por ahí, esos amigos tuyos son más como mierda, que esos son 3,000 pesos por ahí. Si es con el tubo viejo, con el CX1000, está como en 3,000 pesos. Es más, yo lo he visto en el 2009. Bueno, depende de la condición. Pero ese que yo vi, ese que compró un juego, yo lo vi en la fotografía y se ve nuevo. Le costó 3,100. Pero eso está más o menos por 3,100, 3,400 por ahí. Con el tubo nuevo que obviamente debe dar más power. De este nuevecito. Está como en 2000, 3009, por ahí, 3000. Pues ese día vale un montón de chavos ahora, papá. Es decir, el nuevo está en 6,000 y pico, para 6,500. Subiendo un poco. 6,000 y pico pesos, nuevo. Pero usado, en buenas condiciones, con el tubo viejo, con el tubo 1000. Está como en 3,000, 3,100, 3,200, yo lo he visto 3,400, por ahí más o menos son los precios. Y se consiguen, bueno, allá se consiguen, usted lo puede conseguir allá, aquí que se hace difícil. Bueno, como te digo, ese día yo solo conseguí a Wilfredo. Yo lo vi y le envié la foto y le envié un mensaje al tipo. Y entonces el tipo le dijo que tenía una hija que vive en Nueva York. Porque obviamente no le dijo que se la chipeara para acá. Porque no se iba a chipear. Y entonces le dijo, no, él le comentó que se lo podía ir a llevar a la hija ahí a la casa de Nueva York y se lo llevó. Ese no te comento. Pero nada, creo que va a ir para allá para buscarlo. Vamos a hacer un viaje, creo que lo van a empacar y lo envían por FedEx o se lo trae por correo, por el avión. Pero ahí es peso, pesa bastante. Veremos a ver lo que pasa. Si te puedes conseguir uno allí, te lo compro. Si puedes conseguírtelo. O sea, yo los consigo. Mira, ahí hay un tipo que está vendiendo uno hace tiempo. O sea, yo creo que está en tu estado. O si no más que me equivoco. Y no sé, yo creo que lo vendí. Yo creo de esos que compró tu amigo, yo creo que es uno de ellos. Un 84. Pero tú tienes buena amplificadora ahí. Y tú tienes buenas y buenas también. Entonces cosas no son suficientes. Yo seguiré con el Mercury. Que por lo menos ahí me da un poco de ayuda. No te comento. Lo que tienes que hacer es que si te puedes conseguir uno, si lo quieres comprar, pues lo compras. No te comento. Yo me quedo con lo que tengo. Eso es suficiente. Pues te pasa el cambio y me comenta qué señal te estoy dando allá. Ahora mismo sin amplificador. La señal de Kilo México Ford de Malibu, P4 Yankee Tari.
Ya, 5-9, última transmisión y hasta
Fox at Whiskey Papa for Radio Foxtrot, CQ contest. CQ contest, Whiskey Papa for Radio Fox at Whiskey Papa for Radio Foxtrot, CQ contest. CQ contest, Whiskey Papa for Radio Fox at Whiskey Papa for Radio Foxtrot, CQ contest.
November Radio 6 Oscar.
November Radio 6 Oscar, 5997097. Okay, send for 23, 73, good luck. Quartet, Whiskey Papa for Radio Fox. CQ contest, Whiskey Papa for Radio Fox, Whiskey Papa for Radio Fox, CQ contest. CQ contest, Whiskey Papa for Radio Fox, Whiskey Papa for Radio Fox, CQ contest. CQ contest, Whiskey Papa for Radio Fox, Whiskey Papa for Radio Fox, CQ contest. CQ contest, Whiskey Papa for Radio Fox.
CQ, Papa Japan 2 Tango. 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 CQ, Papa Japan 2 Tango.
Good first customer. That's a great first customer. And so I'm certain that Larry Ellison went in there and made this. And so they got a real customer there, so they could actually, their first database was owned on actually a problem that a real customer had. Then what you have to get is operational validation. You got to get a real product that's working. This is where you need the nerd. And this is where Robert Miner came in, or Steve Wozniak. You had to basically deliver a product. And Bob Miner delivered, version 1 of Oracle to the CIA, and they were happy with it. Then you've got to have functional validation, where you've got to satisfy your customers, you've got to be able to compete against the competition, and you got to vary your products mix. Now, Bob Miner was good at all that. He was involved with
representa 80% de la composición de la mayoría de los organismos e interviene masiva y decididamente en la realización de sus procesos metabólicos. Desempeña un importante papel en la fotosíntesis de las plantas y sirve de hábitat a una gran parte de los seres vivos. A pesar de que todas las actividades sociales y económicas dependen en gran medida del abastecimiento de agua dulce y de su calidad, 12.200 millones de personas viven sin acceso a agua potable. Los datos de la ONU indican que actualmente cerca de 1 de cada 3 personas carecen de acceso a agua potable y proyectan que para 2050 hasta 5.700 millones de personas vivirán en zonas donde este líquido escasea al menos un mes al año. La crisis...
برابرسي افغانستان به ځان بسیایي د پلور بوځي
یو منځ د فقر لاس نیول
quienes somos afectados. Que todos lo sabemos para ser salvos y que todo lo demás es error. Si continuamos diciéndonos que somos espiritualmente enriquecidos y abundantes de sabiduría y sin necesidad de nada, aquel día te sorprenderá sin que sepas nada. Es un riesgo muy grande, estamos muy cerca del fin.
And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them.
Incluso entre gays y lesbianas, los gays muchas veces tienen actitudes extremadamente machistas hacia las lesbianas o hacia las mujeres. Eso no excluye para nada a la comunidad LGBTI.
¿Y qué me dices de la comunidad trans? Vaya, es decir, si hay ese tipo de prejuicio entre la comunidad gay y lesbiana, ¿cuál es el sentir? Y obviamente no estamos hablando, ojalá no estemos hablando de la mayoría de la comunidad LGBTI, pero hay sectores de la comunidad LGBTI, por lo menos fuera de Cuba, en los Estados Unidos, puedo decir que la comunidad, miembros de la comunidad trans se han quejado que la comunidad LGBTI no todo el mundo los acoge. ¿Existe esto en Cuba también?
Así también sucede en Cuba. Sucede en Cuba igual. Ellas y ellos, porque son hombres trans y mujeres trans, también sufren aquí en Cuba el doble, porque ellas aquí son doblemente marginadas, una por ser de pueblo y otra por ser trans, en un lugar que no tienen algunas veces, como amigas que tengo yo, que no tienen ningún espacio en la sociedad, ningún.
Praise the Lord. Oh, does not rejoice in iniquity, in breaking God's law. Oh, but rejoices in the...
Gary, thanks for the kind words. And I wanted to ask you, or let you know, I didn't see any of those HP units in Charlotte. I was surprised. Usually at Hamfest I see them with the type of switch you were looking for. But I will look tomorrow at the Vienna Hamfest, and if I see one, do you still need one? So if you can get back to me. Pass it on to Les. November 3, Romeo Foxtrot Oscar, Alpha 3, Whiskey Sierra.
AA3WS M3RFO. Okay, Charlie. Very good with Nancy. You know, Nancy, most of you guys, I don't think I've met Charlie's wife, but she has a very infectious laugh. She laughs easily. But I can see her asking you that question. Yeah, I was thinking about giving her a call either today or tomorrow. Maybe I'll wait another day before I call her, because that anesthesia can do that. I've never been put to sleep. When they operated on my hand, they had given me a block, in my arm, and did it that way. So they give me some funny stuff. It made me feel kind of woozy before it, but it was just something to calm you down, But they didn't put me out. But I hear people that have been put out. A lot of people take some days to get over that, and longer, to get all their senses back. But anyway, I'm glad that went good and everything. I know she's glad that it's over with. So, let's see here. What was I going to say? Oh, Woody, I did not know you were in there. I'm sorry about that. Good morning to you. And, yeah, you are off frequency. I was going to tell you the same thing. And it's maybe a couple of hertz is what I'm seeing here. I tuned the radio down to where I could hear you normally. And it also took... When I hear you on frequency, it takes away that warbling sound like Gene was talking about. So I think it's the fact that you're off frequency maybe is what he's hearing mostly. But it was I had to go down to 70 almost 73, I guess, to get you in tune. But I mean, everybody's radio is different, so it's just a little low. And other than that, this sounds good. You got plenty of power and whatnot. And the cat, yes, we had the same cat, but same problem here. We missing the cat. You know, they all line up to get to eat. And Diane asked me, she said, have you seen the what she calls her Bootsy? Have you seen Bootsy? I said, no, I haven't seen that cat all day. So anyway, we're, day went by, and I happened to walk by the outside door. Matter of fact, I think I was coming in here at night. It was dark. And I hear this real faint meow. And I said, that's in the garage. So anyway, we had a heck of a time getting her out. She was like freaking out. She wouldn't come out, so the mother...
Let's say such things. Knowledge is no more. If you look at what they're doing with computers. It's been a while since May 8th of last year. So there you go. Let's see. We called Mike W1RC and he wasn't there. Let's go out to Steve and see if he's available on the Slater. W2TRH. W8YX. I'm the lonely guys. Nope, but he'll be back. He gets involved with stuff on the ship there, and then he'll be back. So let's grab Tim up there in Maine, and then George in Yorktown Heights, Jeff there in Phillips, and then John in Harpersville, New York. So, Tim, go ahead. WNHR, QIX on the Lonely Guys.
I just couldn't see spending. I had the caps on the shelf for what I needed, and I just put them in. So that's all working, and the idle current is holding nicely on this rig. But okay, very good. Yeah, well, same thing here. I'm not planning on doing anything. Well, this afternoon is kind of, we got stuff to do. But tomorrow I'm basically wide open. Got nothing going on here. So I may take the plow off the truck tomorrow. I think I probably will do that. I think I'll put the plow up underneath the overhang and get that ready to take back home. I got to leave the truck up here because I got to get some loads of stone and stuff. This guy's got to tell me how big, he's got to come back with a bigger tank. And get this, he can't find any tanks. So it's a good thing, we got a good tank so far anyway, but I want to replace it with a larger one. I figure while we're at all of this, I'm just going to get a bigger tank that we can fill once and, at the beginning of the heating season, and then it'll last the entire season. And 550 gallons will, I have to probably take out a mortgage to do that at this point. My daughter, by the way, got a oil delivery, 275-gallon tank. I guess it must have been empty when she got it filled up, $1,200. So I don't know how anybody's going to afford this. If this, I think what happens here, by the way, not to elongate this over here, but I think what's going to happen is there's a threshold of pain that people meet, and I think we're there, and that's why I believe you're beginning to see the price of gasoline level off a bit. It's not going up in these crazy amounts every day like it had been. And it better start to trickle back down again, because if it doesn't, we're going to head into some bad economic times, number one, and people are going to get... well, look, this is all governed by consumption, by the way. In other words, already people are saying, wait a minute, I think maybe we're going to, think differently about, how much gas we buy and the trips that we make and cancel vacations and all the stuff that goes along with high prices for transportation. And the demand is going to dwindle, and as that happens, the oil will begin to pile up. This is classic economics, As the demand dwindles, drops, people go to more fuel-efficient vehicles or whatever. They're not going to go to electrics. I don't see that happening any big time way. I think they're just going to go for more fuel-efficient cars, and they can find them, drive less, and that will drop demand. And when that happens, well, you know what? The supply will start to pile up, and we'll have prices kind of settle back down to earth again. This has happened how many times in the last 50 years that we've been dealing with price shocks? 1973. I know you weren't quite driving age at that point. I was driving a car then, and I remember gas being, the first time I filled up my car was 35 cents a gallon, and then it shot up, and then it came back down again, and the same thing happened in the end of the 70s, and the same thing happened in the early 90s, and it's and so on and so on. So anybody that thinks that this is some new phenomena hasn't lived very long and doesn't understand history. So we'll have to see how that's all going to go. But the heating oil thing's a big deal. If you can't heat your house in the wintertime, that's going to be a big deal for people. So we'll have to see how it goes. Anyway, that's my wind-up for this morning. I will leave you with that, and we will talk later on during the weekend, I am sure. W1ZOA from N2CBH. I'm going to sign clear on this one, just listening out for your final.
Okay, Bob. Well, what we need to do is manufacture a solenoid that every household in the country can just throw a switch and cut the water supply off so they don't have frozen pipes. That's the next thing you're going to have to think about. People are going to have to start heating one room in the house. It's all going to go. This is the way it's been in Russia, by the way, and Europe for the last 100 years. You just heat the two rooms that you use, you know. You don't, if you have a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms, 2 full bathrooms, you're going to be heating 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. No more, you know, giant heat pump sitting there in the middle of the block with nobody home. So who knows, man, what makes any sense? I don't know. I agree with you. It's a problem, and no, I wasn't driving then, but I did. I was the one that used to make gas runs for my father to buy gas for the lawnmower, and I remember 35 cents a gallon. I do. But they were different times, my friend. I think the house I lived in was $30,000. Now, when they sold it, it was almost $1 million. You know, it's like, come on. Something's got to give somewhere, so we'll see what happens. And safe travels there, and good luck with the service and all that other stuff. My drag. Sorry about that. And I'll catch you later. I'll take a breather later and see how the bands are. 75 meters sounded beautiful last night. Quiet. Oh my gosh. No noise. You could hear a pin drop. Giant signal. So maybe I'll catch you later, Bob. 7-3, have a great day. N2CBH, 433, this is W1ZOA. Bye-bye.
All right, Gerald, you have a great day, and watch out for ghosts. W1ZOA from N2CBH, portable 3 is clear. Radio use.
All day to me. I don't know why.
I know, man. Whenever he first come in here, he was in there rock solid.
Like me all day.
I need a better antenna.
I'll be at a noise level about 4.5.
I'm running a kilowatt, and you guys still can't hear me. Well, I'm going to get going. You guys can't hear me anyway. I'll talk to you another time. KY3W.
Okay, all right, Dave. We'll see you. Maybe Saturday or so.
Now he's faded out now.
Yeah, he's not talking now.
Well, if he's leaving, catch you later, Dave. If you can't hear me, talk to you next week if you're in there. See you, fellas. Yeah, I heard him that time. Well, Larry, what's on your agenda list today? Yeah. I'm going to be doing my much I think I'm going to run up the new garden there. There's a little store up there. I'm telling you what, they got some good meat in there. And I go up there, we've been buying hamburger up there. Go up there and buy like 30 pounds at a time and bring it home and divide it up. It's some good stuff, though. About 30. Yeah, we just package it up and then put it in the freezer. I'll tell you what. Ready for a nuclear war, huh? Well, I don't know what's going to become of it. Who knows? They're not going to do that. I doubt it. You know, if anything, I look for cyber attacks. Oh, yeah. Well, it is what it is. I mean, ain't nothing we can do. Just live if we can. There's nothing he can do. You know, I thought his army was stronger than that. Man, oh man, that's weak.
ShortWave. Wedge. And that rectifies it and then puts that across the meter. And meter is 154 ohms. I'm going to have it shunted with 300 milliohms, and depending on the switch position, 150 milliohms or 70 milliohms. So it's a half 1 amp and 2 amps. Well, I beat the meter up again by running the invader when it was on the 2 amp position. And I didn't understand that because I had a Schottky diode, a 20 amp Schottky diode across the meter, and the Schottky diode read 163 millivolts forward conduction according to my fluke meter. And I figured 1 milliamp at 154 ohms is 154 millivolts. So I figured that diode would protect it. Well, it still beat the needle and bent it. So I'm in the process of changing the situation. I'm going to put 154 ohms in series with the the multimeter, and leave the shunt diode across it. And hopefully the diode at some time will cut in and bypass the current. I just don't know. I just measured these diodes again using the fluke in a forward direction. And what is that scale? Well, it's a diode check position. And that's reading .070 on the meter, which makes me think 70 millivolts in the forward direction. So I just don't know what a Schottky diode is. I guess I should put a power supply on the diode and actually measure the voltage drop against the current, trying to get a voltage current curve and figure out what they really are. I know they're supposed to be better than silicon, but the protection I thought I had, I didn't. So there you have it. In any case, Gary, I hope you get your thing working, that proprietary parts haven't gone kaput on you. That would be good. And Charlie, we got sunlight now. I can actually see blue sky, so keeping your doors open is probably a good thing. And Les, it'd be nice to see you at the Hamfest sometime. This one's fairly close. It's up there in Vienna. Well, not Vienna. It's actually Annandale at the community college. You might consider running up there if you get a chance. All right, W4IVF, N4MQ, hopefully on frequency.
Okay, N4MQ in the group from W4IVF. That's much better, much better. You can tell you're moving just a little bit a couple of times, but not enough to make any difference. That's much better. Charlie, in answer to your question, do not look for that switch any further. I've got the... Okay, what started that is that, you know, of course, when I started troubleshooting, I went ahead and did my Google search just to see if, you know, there was something easy
trouble getting upstairs. My back hurts so much. My wife thinks I'm spending too much time in my chair. And not the lazy boy chair, but the one in the shack. Go ahead.
Well, that's true. I agree with that. It happens, you know. That's why I could never remember me always saying I just can't sit around and do nothing. You know, I have to do something, and that's why I look forward to doing something outside or you know, running around. People say you're so busy doing this and doing that. My wife and I are busy people. We run after the kids. We take, you know, pick this one up over there, take this one over there. I'm always running out to one of the units, you know. Like yesterday, my wife and I spent, I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours on the road, 3 hours looking for flooring for one unit. The floor was damaged, and a couple of them have to be replaced. And we were looking at different places we went to, Lumber Liquidators, and a couple of the floor places, and naturally Home Depot and Lowe's. But we don't mind doing that. You know, that keeps us moving, Chaz. Keeps us moving. You know, that's a good thing. So there you go. Now, you got to get up and move. Like I said to you, even if you got to get up and walk around that path out in the back there, I would love that. I just visualize having something like that. You're very fortunate to have that property to be able to do that. Even it's just to get out and suck in some of that air. Over?
Yeah, you're right, Carl. No problem. No problem. Even the guys that are normally on Saturday morning down below us here on 3611, I don't hear them on today. They may be working a contest, I don't know. Most of those guys like to work FT8. So, in any event, we should be okay for our afternoon and evening down here, I would think. But man, I never heard so much QRM. I guess I'm getting too old to worry about doing any contests anymore. But it is what it is. And I'm going to get dressed here. I got a heating pad. I've got a heating pad downstairs that Janice uses. And I got this machine that it looks like a chair. Or you put it on your lazy boy and you turn the thing on. It's got heat. And it's got, you know, it's a vibration. And I'll put that on too. I'll get rid of this thing. I hate having back pain, especially lower back pain. You always think it might be something else. Don't get old, Carl. That's all I'm going to say. W2QEG, K2BU.
Yeah, okay. I forgot to make a comment about the contesting. No, I know it. I couldn't even sandbag last night, you know, after going in and watching the show. And then come back out and sandbag a little bit, you know. It was so crazy, this contesting. I agree with you. So, wind up shutting everything down, and that was it. So, we hung it up. Anyway, I hear you. Well, I wouldn't worry about anything else. You just got to get up and move around. So, tell the bride I agree with her. You need to get up and move around. I don't care if you do nothing but walk. And you know, they say even a slow walk, people say it's no good for you. Well, guess what? It's lubricating the joints. Get up and walk. It's doing something better than nothing. Let's put it that way. All right, I'll catch up with you later. I'll be listening from afar. W2QEG.
Carl, sounds good. I'll be on. I'm getting dressed right now. I'll be on, and I agree with you. I can't wait to get outside a little more this spring and walk around the yard. I'm sure I'll feel a lot better. W2QEG and all the sandbaggers, K2BU.
Yeah, buddy. Well, that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. I'm going to get my sweeper out of the garage, hook it up to my tractor, and just ride around my property, and gives me something to do, pick up some twigs. All right, later. W2QEG.
Transmitters, independent frequency sources. The flex receiver I use has both 80 and 40 meters in it. That is an interesting prospect. That would be interesting. I'd have to figure out. No, I even think I can do the antennas separately into the flex. Boy, quite a thing. Anyway, I won't contemplate that here, George. And thanks so much for being part of the net. Excellent signal, as you always have up here. And I'm sorry you're not hearing some of the far stations. But they're far away. You know, Tim is way up there in Maine and all that. Although he had a super strong signal here. Anyway, good to hear you. And that's an interesting idea. I'm going to think about that and maybe even try it out. Steve, right over to you. TRH, I heard you call in. Then we'll grab Jeff there, and John. Of course, we'll have another call up. So W2TRH aboard the Slater. Go ahead there, Steve. Oh yeah, you're blasting in here.
Soda. I've cut pretty much soda out of my diet completely, and me gusta mucho. Así que ahí tú le estás llegando ya. No sé qué micrófono, fíjate, es el que utiliza Amador, pero sí sé que tiene dos cajas de esas. Y se oye muy bien. Pues nada, Oscar, si tú me permites saludar a Rubén, que yo no he tenido la oportunidad esta mañana de saludarlo, voy a tomarla para dejarlo que continúe. Yo sé que no me invitaron para acá, fue que yo los escuché ahí en la 70, cuando lo invitaron para acá, y déjame, voy y los escucho, y cuando él se esté yendo, pues salgo y lo saludo, y no sabes que en eso pues saliste tú. Y escuché a Pablito, no tuve la oportunidad de hablar con él, pero por lo menos lo estaba escuchando para acá. Así que con tu permiso, Oscar. Rubén, buenos días, hermano. Un abrazo rompe costilla, como dice el mercado. Espero que te encuentres bien. Ayer pasé por allí con el Canito por la tarde, y vamos a visitar la Cano, pero tú no estabas. Ayer te fuiste de juelga, pero dime qué hay de nuevo, Rubén. KP4 Charlie Sierra, los que escuchan, this is Kilo Papá 4, Papá Oscar Lima. Ok, bueno.
si allá no me escucha, Oscar, es que como tú y yo estamos tan cerca, pues yo bajo el power aquí a 10 vatios, 15 nada más. Y no uso los 400 que uso allá. Bueno, estoy usando el 2015. No sé, yo le tengo cariño a esos computadores viejos, no, aquí es que yo sé. Llevo como 2 meses que no lo compro, voy a prender ahorita para darle que se caliente. Ese amplificador tipo yo los 80 metros lo uso. Y para no cambiar al otro, pues aquí en 20 metros lo que hago es que lo uso en circuito con 400 watts y nada más. No, ayer estaba la hija mía comprando y puse la dueña a comprar un poquito ahí para ella. Ya que la dueña se va a ir para y entonces pues después salí y nos fuimos para allá para Chipre a comer y después me fui a casa de la hija mía llevando le llevé el regalito antes de tiempo y ella me decía pero espera que sea el día y yo no sé eso como quiera ella sabe que es de cumpleaños y para que se lo estrene y de ahí pues pasé en casa de Oscar busqué una par de guayabas que tenía allí, que ella quería llevársela para allá también. Y así me pasé yo por aquí también. Estoy con el radio enano, estoy con el enano. Y anoche me dio con cambiar el micrófono, puse otro micrófono, el que a ti te gustaba, el que tú probaste y te gustaba ahora.
Ok, ya veo. Bueno, vamos a empatar desde el principio, ¿no? Pues mira, Cano, usa ese alfa si no tienes que por lo menos calentarlo, que no vaya a ser que el día que lo vayas a usar no decida por falta de uso echarse a perder. Ahí estuve mirando, me envió el gordo, me envió ayer hola, no tengo arefa aquí, no, que me estoy escuchando en la bocina de radio de 2 metros. Ahí está. Entonces, con relación a esto de los tubos, aparentemente van a comenzar a fabricar tubos ya acá, en Estados Unidos. Ahí luego te envío el artículo, porque dependiendo de esta gente, de los rusos allá, ya tú viste cómo se puso eso. Yo me parece que yo te envié ayer a través de WhatsApp, déjame ver si lo llegué a enviar. Yo había conseguido algo y te lo había enviado, vamos a ver. Con relación a eso, déjame ver si está, no te lo envié. No te lo envié, te lo envié ya mismo, muchacho, una parejita de tubos de esos, 1.500 pesos, están locos esta gente, una cosa que valían 150 pesos hace un mes y medio atrás. Ahora están imposibles, muchachos, de comprar. Pero hay que usarlo, Rubén. Y cómprate nada, tú no tienes que comprar nada. A ver, tienes que ponerle un radio, uno de los radios con el alfa para que lo trabaje con la, ¿cómo se llama? Con la Force 12. Y dejas el FL 2100, lo dejas para que trabaje 40 y 80. Rubén. Y ahí no tiene, eso es más que suficiente, ahí en 80 metros, eso es más que suficiente. Ahí yo lo que uso es el L7S, que me aprendí, ahora mismo lo acabo de pagar. Yo prendo para por lo menos calentarlo, aunque no lo use. Ahí 80 metros con 4.500 vatios, más que suficiente. Y aquí pues trabaja el alfa. Tacho, yo hace tiempo que hubiera seteado eso así. Yo tengo 3 amplificadores, los uso con 3 radios diferentes. No tienen que estar con el traqueteo de estar tuneando y destuneando. Cano. Entonces con el tema de las guayabas, más la más buena que son, yo no soy guayabero, pero Brenda es la que le gustan mucho las guayabas,
el día que fui a casa de Oscar a llevarle el tubo, vi unas guayabas peras que habían allí, habían de las dos, yo lo cogí de las dos, y chico, muchacho, me comí una de ellas, las otras las trae para Brenda, pero eso era como si tuviera un olorcito de eso, de los que uno compra en el carro y en la casa, un aroma, pero espectacular, un olor, pero fuera de liga. Bueno, allí que se dan en aquella arena las aparatas esas, las guayabas, tremendo eso, Cano. Y ya veo, a mí me gusta, entonces sigo empatando el micrófono. Ese micrófono me gusta, chicos. Yo no lo conseguí. El único que había estaba en Europa y no quise comprarlo por allá. Pues era usado, obviamente. No lo quise comprar, pero ese micrófono me gustó mucho. Y creo que con este radio se casa bien. Yo aquel día lo puse y me gustaba, y lo mejor de todo es que tiene tanta ganancia que tú puedes mantener el mic gain, el compresor bien bajitito y cuidar los picos uno allá arriba, que con estos otros micrófonos no se ven. Yo sé que están, pero no, tú no los puedes ver. Rubén. Y lo de ayer, pues ya veo, pues mira, perdí el viaje. Yo le dije a Camilo, vamos a visitar vamos para casa de Rubén, vamos a caminar para allá porque estaba un poquito hiperactivo, y le vamos para casa. Caminamos para allá y estaba aquello allí cerrado. Mira, nos chavamos, no estabas tú, no estaban los gansos, ni estaba el pájaro carpintero tampoco. Yo creo que el pájaro carpintero se mudó, Cano, adelante, KP4 Charlie Sierra, y los que escuchan KP4 Papá Oscar Lima, y pásale a Oscar que se nos va, Cano.
No, de inmediato le voy a pasar a Oscar para que lo siga contigo en un par de preguntas, porque oye, me escucho Oscar maravilloso. Yo voy porque está tomando mi computadora para grabar, porque Oscar es de los míos, nos encanta de los audios y eso, y el micrófono. Yo tengo ahí como 10 o 11 mil. Bueno, tú sabes que has visto aquí cómo está eso. Y si no me paso cambiando, inventando, pues no estoy tranquilo. Como que se me va el deseo de hacer radio. Bueno, pues nada, déjame salir aquí un minutito para ver lo que tú hablas con Oscar, y luego hablamos, porque tengo 2 o 3 preguntas ahí y todo eso, que la doña se está preparando para arrancar para San Juan ahora mismo, y déjame ayudarle a terminar de echar las cosas acá. Pues sigo con Oscar. Oscar, buen día, y déjate eso quieto, parece que da Crazy Group, KP4CS. Cómo no. Sí, yo me quedo aquí en casa. Quien va para allá es la doña, que va a estar por allá. Bueno, pues nada, te dejo aquí con Paul un ratito, en lo que yo le ayudo ahí a recoger algo. Paul, ya mismo hablamos, sigue hablando ahí que ya mismo te saco un grito. Pues te escuchas súper bien, y eso es lo mejor que hace Oscar, sacarle fotos. Así hago yo aquí a veces. Cojo y chequeo el radio y donde está ajustado, que la gente, porque a Paul es que yo molesto, mi vecino, porque Paul tiene un radio ahí que tiene que él ve las gráficas de los altos, los medios, los bajos, y me dice a cuánto está abriendo el radio, si está muy guay, si está todo eso. Paul es el que yo molesto ahí, y Paul pues tiene un buen equipo que cuando él me dice déjate joven, eso está ahí como tiene que ir, eso está, o te escucho los agudos están muy bajitos, o los medios están así, o los bajos están así, Entonces cuando a veces ajusto me dice, no, déjalo ahí en esta pareja. Ahí está bien. Así es que acuérdense que yo molesto, Oscar. Y está por aquí. Bueno, pues los dejo, yo dejo esto prendido, pero voy a estar allí ayudando a la doña a echar las cosas al carro. Pues dale, Paul, y yo pues te escucho ya mismo. KP4 sigue ese stand-by.
Ok, Canito, si no nos escuchamos, nos vemos. Si no nos escuchamos, pues nos vemos, seguro que sí. Seguro que sí. Mira, no, me preguntaste ahorita, yo no he bajado la antena todavía, porque no voy a bregar con ella hasta el lunes. Hasta el lunes no voy a bregar con ninguna de las antenas, para no quedarme sin radio, porque a la que la baje, eso se va a quedar ahí, por lo menos 1 o 2 semanas, fácilmente, lo que cuadro todo. Son muchos los proyectos. Pero hablamos de eso ahorita, pues dale. Espero que la señora llegue con bien a su destino y que regrese pronto, ¿no? Que vaya y venga con bien, Cano, que tenga buen viaje. Hablamos entonces luego. Pues Oscar, voy contigo para allá. Oscar, déjame preguntarte, ¿ya tú le hiciste abriste el TTBF, el Band Pass Filter, lo abriste a 4, todavía no lo has abierto a 4 delante? Pues déjame buscarla aquí en el frigo si lo quieres hacer, porque yo sé que estoy casi 100% seguro que apagas el radio y lo prendes con los 2 botones del día, con el DNF y el R. Entonces luego vas al menú en el 2000, te voy a decir si yo tengo esta nota puesta por aquí, que tengo que buscarla. Y ahí luego vas en el 2000 me parece que el menú 84 me parece que, y ahí entonces lo cambias a donde dice TTBF. Esa opción ahora mismo no te aparece, pero cuando tú apagas el radio y lo prendes con esos 2 botones, te va a dar esa. Y esa es para abrirlo de 40 a 4 kilos, de 50 a 4 kilos, Oscar. Y ahí hace la diferencia, pero parece que ahora mismo todo tiene 3.0, yo te estaba mirando y estás ahí en la raya del 3.0, por eso te pregunté si está abierto, si ya lo abrieron a 4, no lo estoy viendo acá. Tú me dices si lo quieres hacer y te busco la info ahora mismo. Déjame buscar aquí en el archivo, espérate, que yo tengo esto aquí mismito en los papelitos para no pasar mucho trabajo. Ok, este es para el Power Setup. Espérate un segundito, que te voy a decir, este es el 20. Jehová. Tú sabes en el menú dónde está el Band Pass Filter. Escúchame un segundito que tengo teléfono, Oscar. No te vayas, cabe 4 por.
Kilo 9 Charlie Tango. Kilo 9 Charlie Tango.
Thousand Oaks per se, but it's a place where it's a very large, spread out city. No high rises, of course. Very suburban. And you took me there on at least one time, maybe twice, for my rehab. And I sent you over to Western Bagel. Remember, you wanted to get some bagels while I was doing rehab. Does that sound familiar, Rich? Go ahead. Well, it could be. It could be because they do have the Global Center, the big senior center, and they do run dances at least once a month or more. But I don't remember that. If we did, we went to dinner. We went to a small Italian restaurant. You remember Jocko and Marge? We all were there, and I was complaining it was too hot. I couldn't stand the heat. Go ahead. QSL. That's correct. So at least I remember something. Go ahead. She's got a good memory. That was his car in the old days. And now he's driving a Genesis. Go ahead. Yeah, it's a very nice car. And, it's right up there. The big ones are right up there with the luxury models. I think Howard has one. And I think they're very nice. Go ahead. QSL. Well, of course, the gasoline now is really getting out of sight. I think I saw a sign for $6.50 for premium yesterday, and it's going up and up and up. And of course, I listen to our leader very often, and just one lie or misnomer or gaffe after another. Such a terrible. I'm amazed that there isn't more of an uproar in this country. Go ahead. And even at that, what comes out of his mouth is nonsense. Go ahead. He says, I can't say that because I'll get in trouble. Go ahead. Well, I shouldn't be laughing because it's so sad. I don't ever remember my 84 years. I don't ever remember
a leader of our country in this particular situation, or this bad. Even Jimmy Carter. Give me a break. I thought Obama was bad, but at least he was a hell of an orator, you know. Obama was very smart and quick. But what a comparison, go ahead. It's actually 20 of. I don't know how we slipped into it, but I don't think we did any of it yesterday, go ahead. Yeah, whatever it is, it's been 100% basically, so. And that's very unusual for a stateside QSO during a contest period. I guess they gave us a break. They gave us a pass. Go ahead.
Thank you, contest. Kilo 1 Victor 0. Whiskey Alpha.
Our articles and videos cover a variety of topics important to the growth and development of the Christian walk. We present material covering practical piety in daily living, biblical beliefs grounded upon the word of Yah alone, the Creator's calendar, and end-time prophecy.
That we're producing, as you correctly stated, the secondary or center. But you still, those two can still trouble even if they have that. In fact, you can still get into the inner layer to treat the pulse.
Watching our daily prayer.
And you keep under anesthetic, and sometimes
using egg substitutes and making them in a muffin tin in individual servings. They store well. We wrap them up, and we can even freeze them, make up a big batch, and pull them out for breakfast. Occasionally we'll go for a full-blown quiche, but not that often. But the processed cereal is pretty much out, and then just as often to mix it up, we'll have hot oatmeal. I retired from the maple syrup business, so we're trying to avoid sugar. And I've pretty much given up bacon. As much as I love bacon, pretty much given up bacon. So all kinds of stuff here, Steve. We got good, healthy, stabilized weight, and a lot of exercise, regular walking and stretching. We're trying to maintain, hang in as long as we can. Well, good net. Hard to believe, but I do believe who've been at this thing for 22 years. I just sit back and wow, that is something. And popular as ever. The Lonely Guys carries forth onward. So thank you very much. And back to you. WA1QIX. This is K1 Zoot Zoot.
Yes, we have. We've been in here for 22 years. Zoot Zoot. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys. Yes, I know it has. It's really been a long time. Amazing amount of time has elapsed. And yeah, interesting. Yes, we have been here. We have been here for a while. Anyway, when's the last time you were in here? It's been a long time. 2021, been a year, for crying out loud there, Dave. I got to get in here more often. You're in Marlow, New Hampshire? I wonder if you're going to go to the Lewiston, Maine Hamfest next week and Larry's post-Fester party afterwards. So think about that. It's the last one he's going to have in Gray because they're moving here to Ossipee, New Hampshire. Sometime, I think maybe later this year. We'll have to find out. So good to hear you, Dave. Thanks for being part of the net. All right, right over to Bruce there from Pennsylvania, and then Glenn up from Maine, and we'll have another call. So N3, RIK, WA1QIX, Lonely Guys.
Oh, good morning, Steve. Good morning to the net, and always a good net as usual. Lots of good listening.
Yes, he's transmitting.
Longest as ever, but they're still in there. I can still hear most stations over my noise level. But breakfast, wow. Well, if I could have anything in the world, off of the menu, it would probably be shrimp and grits with butter and maybe a little bacon. That would be awesome. But in all reality, I'm a Yankee, and I work an odd shift. So the weekday mornings, I don't get any breakfast until about 9 o'clock or so. So what I do, I get up at like 4 in the morning, and I have my coffee maker go, and it makes, maybe 32 ounces of coffee. I put some ice over it, let it cool off for a few minutes while I'm shaving and whatnot. Then I just guzzle that down. So that usually does me till 7 o'clock, and then I'll just eat a banana or two, some type of fruit. Then about 9 o'clock or so, I'll eat a granola. That's good stuff. And then 12 o'clock, I go into a lunch. So that's most weekdays. And it's bland and boring. If somebody does bring in donuts or whatever, I'm a creature of opportunity. I'll always grab one. And bagels, I consider them sort of like whole wheat donuts. So it makes me feel better about eating them, but I know they can be just as, let's say dietary, just maybe a little better than a donut. At least the ones we get here that are cake-like. Weekends, I usually have eggs with, you guessed it, bagels with cheese. I make sort of a sandwich out of them. Sometimes I put a little ham in it, sometimes a little sausage patty. Then again, whatever I have, creature of opportunity. And in most cases, if I get pancakes every once in a while, I know it's going to be a good day. Sort of like at the end of the Antoine Fisher movie, pancakes were always a good thing if you got them. Same for me. Anyway, that's about it here. Hope all have a good day. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys, N3RIK, 73.
Yeah, very fine there, Bruce. Yes, if you get pancakes, it's going to be a good day. That's very, very funny, but very true. N3RIK, WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys. I'm hearing you just perfectly up here. So no problem whatsoever. Good signal propagation is hanging in between us. So thanks for being part of the net, Bruce. And we'll look for you next week. And I'm glad you're able to copy everybody, or I think at least reasonably. All right, let's see. N1YTN, Glenn, and then we'll have another call up here. WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys. Yeah, I heard it. It did sound like a pretty big failure there. I could hear it just fine on the air, Glenn. Good luck fixing that. Good luck fixing the problem there. So you had it. Yeah, I heard all of a sudden. Said, you heard this, and I said, that sounded like a pretty bad failure. So good luck finding out what it is. And thanks for being part of the net. All right, let's see. We have actually reached the end of the list, so we'll see if we have any more check-ins, and if so, we'll continue on, and if not, we'll close out for the morning. So, do we have more check-ins for the lonely guys? Go ahead, please. All right, we got a couple stations checking in, but I think there are more. There was some doubling. We got WB1GGL. Good morning to you there, Don, and WA1MYQ. Good morning, Scott. Who else do we have checking in? Well, maybe that was it. So good to have you guys in here. The topic is about breakfast. Do you eat breakfast? Do you have something that you normally have? A lot of people do. They have something, kind of similar every day. Some people have something different every day, but not many. What's your relationship with breakfast, and when do you eat it? So go ahead, Don, and then right over to Scott. And I think we've reached the end of the net here, Scott. So unless more people check in, I think you and Dave can probably have the frequency. WB1GGL, WA1QIX, and the Lonely Guys. Yeah, it's at Lewiston. I don't know the exact location. It's the I think it's the American Radio Relay League. Like Northeast Convention, or whatever it is. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Let's see if it jumps right out at me. Here we are. Look at that. There it is. What? Don't give me that crap. Maine State Convention, Lewiston, April 1st and April 2nd, 2022. And here's where it is. Yep. So it's the Maine State Convention, Lewiston. That's next weekend, April 1st and 2nd. I don't know which day is which. I'm going to go on Saturday, whatever day that is. The Saturday is probably the 2nd. Will be held Friday. Oh, there it is. April 2nd at the Ramada Inn and Convention Center, 490 Pleasant Street, Lewiston, Maine. That's where it always is. And then Larry, anyone else, is having his post-fester afterwards. So that is where and when it is there, Dawn. Go ahead. I got the information directly from the ARRL, so I think theirs is probably accurate and the paper is inaccurate. Well, good to hear you. Thanks for being part of the net. Hopefully we'll see you over there next week, and maybe over at Larry's get-together as well. Looking forward to that. All right, let's see. Right over to Scott, and then we'll have another call-up after that. WA1MYQ, and about breakfast, WA1QIX and the Lonely Guys. And K1 Zoot Suit, Dave, you on frequency? WA1QIX.
Well, I won't be able to make the Flea Fester at Lewiston, and best regards to Larry and company. It'll be interesting to see his new, get his new location up in Ossipee squared away, Steve. But K1's at a Scanto. I'll be not making it.
Right, but Scott, WA1MYQ wants to talk to you after the net.
Oh, okay.
I have not heard of that. WA1MYQ, WA1QIX, and all guys. Very good, Scott. No, don't know about that movie. Interesting. He's trying to get into dogs. That's excellent stuff. Yeah, I know you do a lot with animal rescue and all that. Yeah, you got to get your antenna back up. You're really weak up here. But I hear you fine, but signal's down from what it usually is. So good to hear you. Yeah, I think we'll see if we have any more check-ins for the Lonely Guys here. And if so, we'll continue on. If not, we'll close out for the morning. But I think we've kind of reached the end of the net here. So are there any more check-ins for the Lonely Guys before we close out? This is WA1QIX. Nothing heard. Well, this has been the Lonely Guys for the 26th of March, 2022. We got a good showing this morning. A lot of check-ins. Very interesting conversation, as always, on the Lonely Guys. And we will be here next week, although I will not be here next week. Well, I might. I may. I'm going to plan on going to the Lewiston Hamfest, so I want to. I want to do that, so I may not be able to. Do the net, or at least not very much of it. So we'll have to see. How that goes. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for checking in. It's been an enjoyable topic and a great net, good conversations. And we'll look for everybody next week. Enjoy the day. It's a nice day here, sort of partly cloudy. But I think the weather may deteriorate over time. This is WA1QIX, closing out the Lonely Guys for this morning and turning the frequency over to normal. Whatever that means with this crowd. Normal, amateur use. Go ahead, Scott. Take it away.
WA1MYQ, K1ZS. I'm sorry, Scott. It is not a really good copy on you, and I'm missing a word here and there. And unfortunately, I have to make a run to the dump and catch that while I can. And then at noon, I've got a Zoom meeting on the computer for the writers group that I'm in. So we'll have to make this another time. Maybe in the morning, a little earlier. So I apologize, but I have to get out of here, and I can't stick around. And your signal is just weak enough to make it uncomfortable copy for me. So I'm sorry to say, not right now. WA1MYQ, K1ZS.
The other ones, Amazon, Acom, and stuff like that, is components
They didn't stock up on it. And now what's happening now with a lot of stuff now from the, the sea containers coming over. A sea container at one time could cost you anything to get shipped over $500 to $1,000. Now it's gone up to $2,000 to $3,000 per containers. So those charges on those containers that these companies are getting shipped over are passing the price on to the consumer. That's what's happening.
All right. That's a reasonable explanation. All right, that makes sense. I mean, I wonder. Actually, isn't it funny? You talk about the news cycle that goes from COVID. It's now it's war. It's the justice pick. But they forgot all about the containers. I wonder, what's going on with those ships that say there used to be 50, 60, 100 container ships out there. Now you don't hear anything about it. KB1AL here.
All right, I got an editorial reply on that.
Okay.
W1WR, think about it. First it was turned around that the gas prices went skyrocketing way before we got involved even with Russia and Ukraine and stuff like that. All of a sudden Russia invades Ukraine there. Now the establishment is blaming the gas prices on Russia. Wait a minute, who pulled the plug on the pipeline first?
I don't think it's got anything
to do, or if it does, very little, because from what I understood, we're getting something like 3% oil from Russia.
Yeah, but Joe, he pulled the plug on the pipeline before we even Russia even got involved in the war. So what they're trying to do, they're railroading. They're taking us off the track. They're trying to throw us on the track and distracting us from who actually was cause of the gas thing.
Well, I agree. I've been saying that all along about the pipeline. Well, pipeline guys, nobody asks the question. He's lying. There's no question about it. He's lying. And, that oil now is going, to other countries. So whether or not we could get it back is a big question.
Well, Texas turned around and says, well, let us open it up. We'll pump as much oil that you want. It's sitting here. It's turned around and it's ready to burp there. So you turn around and let us open back up, which friends of mine that had small oil companies, they out there pumping, they shut those guys down. So anyway, let me go get another cup of coffee. And that's your report from W1WOR, lower part of Connecticut.
All right, live and in color, KB1AL. Hello, Joe.
That's racist.
Thank you, bro.
Multitasking Larry. And hello, Al.
Yeah, good morning, all. I just got back in. Multitasking, went to the store and all that. Well, it's nice. Because the weather will be going downhill. Not live in a color, but anyway. The bands seem real good this morning, 40 and 80.
Yeah. I talked to an old buddy there on 40, and that was nice running into. It's nice running into people you haven't talked to in a while. But yeah, they're talking about. I mean, do you hear this? It's going to be like maybe a thunderstorm later tonight, and then we won't get out of the 30s on Monday. That's come on. This is the last gasp of winter. I hope the last gasp.
Right, typical for March. So I guess we'll have to deal with it. Hopefully that's the end of that. We've got plenty of water. We don't need any more rain. Some guys are on the rain dance all the time, but they'd probably live on a sandbar or bedrock high.
Yeah. It's good to get the salt off the car. That was key there for a while, So when the temp went up, into the 40s, man, I got to wash that stuff off. But now I notice, a lot of cars are cleaned off now.
All right, we're gonna grab a coffee too. This is LIBA.
Yeah. All right, I think I'll get out with Coco while the getting is good. Take a little walk. But anyway, good to catch everybody. We'll be back. If not here, up on 40, KB1AL.
Have a good one, Al. Enjoy the rest of the day. My wife is out shopping. Lobster is $16.99 a pound now for little ones. Crazy.
Wow. They were showing that on the old lobster pots. And I don't know where this was. I think it was up in Massachusetts. They're sitting there in piles, and they're rusting away. They're rusting. They're just, the boxes are just rotting away. That they're just not being used. And of course, here in the Sound, Long Island Sound, the lobster industry is dead. It's wow, $16.99. Compared to $5.99 the way they used to have them.
You got to remember now, those boats run on fuel, and what's the price of fuel now?
Yeah, gas is part of it. They've also regulated it to death, and then also China buys up a lot of the lobster now.
Hey, I looked at those lobsters at the supermarket. I said to the guy, those aren't lobsters, those are crawfish.
Yeah, small.
Good morning, Rob and Chris.
Hey, good morning, Larry. KC2RGW on the 10.
Yeah, KB1AL. All right, out with Coco. Come on, Coco.
And 2ZRI.
Yeah, good morning, Dan, and good morning, Rob.
Sorry Sorry, Larry, I was multitasking. My dog wanted to be petted, so I pet her first before I talk to you. Good morning, Larry. Yeah, what were you doing? A silent movie this morning there? You didn't have the sound on.
Not part of it. Yeah, doing stuff on the fly. But, and then part of it is with the Gil Fillin radio. I don't know if the sound was there or not. I had to check. But I, last night, took that out of the spare room and got it going. 1920 pipe Gil Fillin that I had for years. It's 100 years old almost. I'm into that. So actually it's on while we speak. Hi.
Yeah, was that a radio you had back when you were a kid?
Yeah, I'm in the picture up on top there where it says Gil Fillin Radio. One of those kids is me.
Only kidding, Larry. All right, my youngest one came down there and she wants a piece of my banana there. So let me go and get her a banana. My dogs like fruits and stuff like that. So WNWOR.
All right. Dan's in there, Chris is in there, I don't know who else. It almost sounded like you on 2 meters, Rob, with your talk. But I turned it down. Remember one, thank you, Rob, on the Sun SCR2DX.
And 2-0. Got your message, Chris.
Yep.
Got some kind of electrical noise interference here now. Noise blanker helps.
Yeah, band is starting to wash out a little bit. I still hear you fine though. But got good news on the job front. Been interviewing for a bunch of stuff and some interesting ones. Nothing firm yet, but I have some offers rolling in, and it's nice to clear the head and move forward, kind of turn the page. So just been in a good mood the past couple of days. So hopefully I get something new and interesting that makes me feel better about the day. So happy about that.
Yeah, I understand. You're leaving the other place, I guess, right?
Yeah, almost certainly. Just too much baggage. So it's not over. I'm still there. But I made a decision about a week or so ago to really get serious about getting out, just because it's dragging on me, quite frankly, and I don't see it improving. And I'm a guy where, like, once the die is cast, I've passed the Rubicon. I don't forgive once an employer crosses me up enough. And it's kind of at that point where, like, they could double my pay, I wouldn't stay, just because I can't shake it off. If people cross me up the wrong way, take advantage, I don't forgive, and that's kind of where I'm at. So I decided, you know what, I've just had enough, move forward, and the good news is I have plenty of choices to pick from, and that's always a mood lifter as well. So looking forward to new adventures. So we'll see what the future brings.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, well, the good thing is that you're capable of doing that. For me at this stage of the game, it's not too likely, and I don't even know if I want to at my age. But I start work again in April, and it looks like I've got this week and the following week I start. I think on the 5th, April 5th. So this coming week I got a little bit of work to do. I've got to make some connections with people and see what's going on in the office, and do they want me to come in, in person or what? And if so, I got to get myself a train ticket.
I actually have one of my first in-person customer meetings coming up for the first time in a very long time. That would be kind of fun, because I haven't sat down and drawn out architectures or done full presentations with a customer now in well over 2 years.
Who cares? Yeah, I'm not actually, after being away 2 years, it is 2 years now, I'm just not anxious to get back, to go back down to the city and get into that routine again. And I kind of wonder, I've been asking myself, if this COVID-19 did not happen, I wonder if I would have just packed it up and left by now, because I probably would have been weary and tired of it. So it's going to be interesting to see how this affects me.
What's interesting is how many places are remote only now. I put searches and alerts out and did 100% remote only, and the things are just piling in. So a lot of companies definitely have gone to remote only where they wouldn't have before, and a lot of the work I do doesn't require travel anymore too, which is interesting.
Well, I could do it, but I'm going to end up losing whatever networking that I had, because they've got new associates in the firm, new people, and my director may be leaving. So if I want to stretch this out, which is the big question, I need to have some presence there, and I know this. So anyway, I know I'm going to go in for a while and see what happens, and then I'll make an assessment at that point. Anyway, on another matter, it's amazing, N2ZRI. It's amazing all the rumors that have come out about the big three, Kenwood, ICOM, Yaesu, and stuff like that, of discontinuing radios and coming out with new radios, and who knows what Kenwood is doing, and ICOM for that matter. All three of them, it's just amazing. And I don't know what the production situation is in Japan, but I wish we had some indication. Now the Tokyo Ham Fest, that's not happening, I guess. That's what I heard.
Yeah, and that's the big one really for the big three, to announce any kind of new products. So if they're not having it, and I know. Pretty sure that Kenwood's not making it to Dayton, or Xenia or whatever they're calling it now, out to Ohio, and they didn't have anything, I don't think, down in Orlando either new. So the chip shortages and all the other logistics problems are probably crippling them pretty good for getting any plans to do anything new or release anything new. So it wouldn't surprise me if they don't really come out with much, because it's kind of a bad time. Even if you come up with a new design, you're going to have a really hard time sourcing everything you need to get it going in. KC2 RGW on the 20.
And W1WR. Well, Kenwood's probably not really coming out with anything quick there. The 990 is just going to be going out of the production line soon. They're going to be discontinued doing that, and Bill Grass has said due to parts also, and it's run the line for about better than 10 years. And Kenwood's known not to come out with something every year or every 2 years.
wonder about their future because they're way down in a pile of acquisitions now. With I forget if it's JVC owns them or someone, but they're like several ladders down in a bunch of acquisitions, and I'll be surprised if they continue. They'll probably keep going until they deplete inventory, but there's been little sign of life from them even before a lot of the chip shortages kicked in.
Yeah, it is JVC Kenwood now. It's that happened a while ago there. Well, actually, Kenwood has made a comeback in the public safety radios. A lot of departments, and they're really pushing forward with the public safety radios now.
Yeah, that part is doing real well. I can't imagine they make much revenue or income out of the amateur radio stuff. That's the key. So when you're under the M&A umbrellas like that for acquisition, they go through and gut out for cost cutting for shareholders. So it'll be interesting to see. I hope not. I'm a fan of Kenwood, but they've been slow to come out with things, and they seem to be concentrating on the commercial market, which of course makes a lot of sense.
Well, that British firm that was, oh my goodness, I just saw in my neighbor's tree a huge, holy cow, I got to get oh no, okay, I'm mistaken. It's a squirrel. I thought it was a big hawk with something in its mouth. Nope, it's a squirrel. Oh, anyway, that British vendor for ham radio equipment that had said that there was definitely something in the works with Kenwood. I guess they're wrong.
You never know. And something they have a local distributor. You never know if that guy knows what he's talking about. You're talking about Martin Lynch, I'm pretty sure, and Sons over there. They do a lot of YouTube stuff. That's the thing is you never know. The rumor mill is always really active around radio equipment, but they're very disjointed, the big three, with like what corporate knows, what U.S. corporate distribution knows, and then what regional distributors know. The messages it's like a bad game of telephone. Even the websites are all bad and broken like that. Like I looked something up the other day when we were talking about Wires X, and Yaesu has a corporate site up that's like 4 or 5 years out of date. The models, the radios aren't even correct on it. None of them are particularly good at keeping their kind of media marketing presence up to date.
Well, wasn't it Vertex was part of Yaesu, or are they still?
Yeah, I don't know about Vertex. I haven't looked them up in a while. They made pretty good radios too, budget LMR stuff. I used to have a handful of Vertex 440 handhelds back in Jersey. They were pretty good. The software was like DOS. I had to use an emulator and turn the speed way down. It was old school, but the radios were really solid and had good receivers in them.
They were in somewhat of the public safety radios also, WNWR.
Yeah, Chris, that name, something in Sons, that was it. I believe that was it, the YouTube video.
Yeah, it looks like Motorola bought out Vertex Standard is what it looks like.
All right, so they did there. So, yeah, and there's Harris Radio, too, which is making another big comeback in public safety. Joe, I sent you a message. Check KMK3M. They changed their well, not exactly. Well, they're turned around and changed it. It doesn't say 2023 anymore.
Okay, so what's the change? I mean, I'm on another site right now, but what's the change?
Well, before I told us, 2023 of September or August there. Right now, we'll be emailing you for a deposit. Be patient. So maybe something's coming quicker and sooner.
Well, what would be obvious to me is that they are enlisting people to build them. Their problem is the building part, not the kit. So, because as I understood it, they had enough parts on hand. That may or may not be true. Maybe that's not accurate, but that's what would make sense to me is that they are enlisting people to build it,
Congratulations to Mara Hurdle,
which is either
golfer
good
of
or
West
not
Coast
good,
League
depending
honors
on
after
who
Navy
they acquire.
beat Johns Hopkins in Baltimore for the first time since
Well, as of now, they got one extra guy doing it, and there's only one other guy that they're going to let.
Field. And as always, when you want all the information on all the Navy sports, all 33 varsity
so you're not going to see a big outsource.
including Navy's varsity 4-boat getting some weekly honors
They
from the
got to keep
Patriot League.
control over the quality, so they have to be very careful about who they allow to build these things, because I think the majority of the guys that are going to be ordering it, I believe, anyway, this is to be seen, but I think more and more people are going to look for the fully completed kit.
Exactly. Quality.
Okay, NT3U 5967. 101, thanks. QRZ. Station starting with November. November Tango 5, Victor 5968. 478, thanks. QRZ, PJ 2T.
18.
Ray, 1018, Roger.
Copy this is 2 Sugar Radio Junction. Copy this is 2 Sugar Radio. BY 2 Sugar Radio Junction. Exit to Junction. 2 Sugar Radio. BY 2 Sugar Radio Junction. Copy this is 2 Sugar Radio. BY 2 Sugar Radio Junction.
Kilo 3 Charlie, Charlie Radio, you're 5971. QSLA, thanks. QRZ. Again. Okay, I think it's ending Alpha. Give 22, that's my number in the contest. If I'm
your first number, you give me 001.
Whiskey 9 Tango Charlie Victor, repeat the number again and lost here, Roger.
40040.
Okay, Roger, thank you very much. Go ahead, Lima Oscar 5 Delta. Whiskey 2 Mexico Japan Radio 59329.
This is sumarán a la prueba tradicional de 21 kilómetros, la de 10 y la carrera popular de 3 kilómetros. Con más detalles, desde la sede tenemos el reporte de nuestro colega Raúl Rodríguez. Escuchemos. Sí, muchísimas gracias. Transmitimos en directo de este balneario de Madero.
Of the living God, and Jesus was well pleased with that.
Hey, I just talk in another realm, don't I, Pete?
Because of Jesus, and because He's paved the way for me, and this
a significant wave height, which is the average height of the highest one-third of the waves. Individual waves may be more than twice the significant.
If the power transformer or anything's any good in it, and just get, maybe, and then just chuck the rest of it, maybe the cabinet I can use for something in the future, I don't know. So I'll probably end up chucking everything. There's just a lot of things down there, and I do have an SX42. It's in bad shape. I mean, it's probably like that Maestro. It's pretty, I know a mouse nest was in the bottom of the thing, and somebody gave it to me, and it was just mice chewed the coating off, ate all the insulation off the wiring, and it's a mess. I mean, it's not worth. And the faceplate's not too good. It's rusty, and so it's not worth anything. So I should get that thing out of there and get, just one of these days I got to clean up that end of the corner of the garage down there and just get rid of some of that stuff, because it's not worth anything, and just taking up space that I could need for other things. So, very good on the tubes there. I do. You said you had the Penalabs that you bought for the 572s, and I'm familiar with the differences between the 811s A's and the 572. Yeah, I know they're not going to gain any more wattage, but it's the ruggedness. So it'd be just nice to have four of those tubes. But they are going up in price. It do seem like they went up in price quite a bit. And the Penalabs are a little bit more money, but I guess they're maybe a little bit better quality. But if they're working for you, then that's good. Sorry to hear about your Drake TR4 problem, Budley. That's too bad that thing's giving you some trouble. I haven't put my Drake system on for a while, so I don't know. Last time I used it, it worked, but the R4C works good. I know, because I use that receiver with some of the other transmitters over there, just to pair up with it. But I think the Drake is still working, so hopefully you can get that thing up and running again, or maybe the one you got just happens to be a problem child, maybe of the way it was stored, or who knows. So it's just the way it is with some of that stuff. And the SX71 you mentioned too there, Budley, is a pretty good. I have an SX71 here that I recapped it and stuff, and I was going to finish doing the alignment on it, and it's sitting over here on the shelf too, and never went any further with it. But that's actually a nice receiver. I mean, the only thing is that the main dial is pretty. Once you go on higher frequencies, it's pretty touchy. The tuning on it, but the band spread makes it nice. And I don't get 6 meters, and it's actually got somewhat decent sensitivity there, and it gets narrow band FM. So that's not a bad receiver for helicopters. It's got the nice big scroll dials on either side there. So yeah, not too bad. You could probably find one of those for $120 to $150 or something. I don't think I'd be asking a whole lot for that. I think that is dual conversion. I believe that is dual conversion receiver. So it has a little bit more, it's a little narrower, like you said. battle type receiver. So it does have some, which is unusual for helicrafters to have the selectivity but that one does. And the other nice one is an SX-100. That's probably one of the better modern type helicrafters that you could get, because it's very stable. It's pretty, it has a decent bandwidth. The fidelity's okay. It looks just like an SX-99, only it's completely different. It's the circuit's different in those. But the SX-100 is a much better receiver, and it's dual conversion. But it does work quite well. But I kind of like the older helicrafters, from the early days, like the 1940 War II, World War II and earlier, like even in the 30s, like the S-17s or stuff like that. Those seem to really be nice. They got really good fidelity, and they're not very good on selectivity, but man, they got some audio, really good audio. But and they're much easier to work on, to maintain too. So yeah, I'd probably get a little bit of lunch here, maybe get a sandwich or something. And just eat something there just to hold me over till supper, and then that'll be that. So I'm probably going to get off here, make this my last transmission as well, and get some other things done here. And Jim, I wanted to mention to you, Russ, Jim needs to get out of that garage and then go in, move his station somewhere else, because I think it sounds like there's going to be a lot of. So, if he can't operate out there, then that's no good, And I have a feeling we're not going to hear Jim on too much, because he's going to be playing around with those engines all the time. So he needs to get out of there, set up something else in the house and get away from that nonsense. But who knows? I'm just thinking that we're not going to hear him on much. But that's the way it goes. He's got interest in other things. So that's fine too. Alrighty, fellas, I'll kick it over to Todd, and I'm going to listen out here as well. So good hearing you all on here this morning. So KA1KAQ and the crew. Dwindling crew, I guess, from N3 TBW. 73.
Well, that's a quiet sounding band all of a sudden. N3 TBW with, I think, pretty much everybody else signed, including Brian. This is KA1KQ. Yeah, well, maybe it's that time. Take a little break and do some other stuff. I've just been down here in the basement moving stuff around as I'm listening to you guys, forgetting to take notes, so I did come over and scribble down a couple things, but I just went out on the deck here off the radio room and brought in an old oak office chair, swivel chair that I've had sitting out there since the move. The weather, even though it's undercover, the weather's not doing the veneer any good on it. It's a big old high back, like a banker's chair or something, with a leather back and seat and stuff that part of it's been done over in vinyl at some point. It's not a project for me, because I'm not a woodworker. But I've got a neighbor who does he does it as a hobby, but he's like an expert woodworking guy. Have him help me fix one of the legs is off the thing and do some other upkeep to it, and then I'll find a place that can put some leather back on it someday when I have real money again. So I hauled that in, and I also, while I was out there, Brian, you'll appreciate this, I found the shock mount for my T368. is sitting out there with I've got casters on it, but I stood it up out there because I didn't have time to pull the transmitter apart, and someone's got casters on the bottom, but it's very unstable with those things screwed in the bottom. So I'm going to remove those and put the shock mount back on it. Then I can slide the drawers out and stuff and not worry it's going to tip over. John, W3JN, was down here. Well, actually not down here. He was, was it? I can't remember now if it was Manassas or North Carolina, but we were working on that thing, and he pulled the drawer out, and it almost fell over and crushed him. So I managed to track down an original shock mount for it, put some casters on it, and it's ready to go. So that's another thing on the list here. But yeah, in fact, John, or Johnny Novice as we call him, W3JN, I also got from him a pretty scary rig, a Leisner receiver, Traffic Master it's called. And it's an interesting rig. Didn't make a lot of them. They came in kit form, I believe, back in the 30s. But what's wonderful about it is the same thing that's wonderful about those Holocrafters receivers, the SX42, the 28, the 62, all of those that have the push-pull audio, or as I like to call it, the shove-yank audio. I don't remember who I heard that from, but shove-yank audio. They just sound wonderful. And the reason, of course, is back in the day, back in the 30s, when these were big, coming into their own, the early Super Pros and the rest, as well as being communications receivers, they had to double as entertainment receivers. So they had a decent audio section built in. I've heard a lot complain about, Collins receivers, or this or that or whatever. It's like, yeah, because they're built specifically as communications receivers, just like a stock Apache sounds like a stock Apache. You get a 75 or A1, or even the A4 is even a single sideband centered receiver with AM. So you can make them sound decent, but they weren't meant that way from the factory. They were meant to get the job done on communications. So, and Budley, you reminded me when you were talking about having that Frank's old R390 there, or R390A, I guess it is. You also have Derb's FT101, as I recall, the one that he used to get on running 20 watts or something, and I could hear him up in Vermont, and he sounded like he was on a broadcast transmitter, and he just had a booming signal with that thing. So you've got that interesting piece as well. So that's a neat little piece of history to have. I can remember being up there one time visiting my parents, sleeping in my old bedroom with an old Norelco tube radio next to the bed, and listening to him, and Johnny was on, and Steve, the husband, was on, and they were doing the monkey swing thing about swinging the needle, and Blue was on FG101E or double E, I think it's a double E, and God, I couldn't. He found out he was only running 20 or 25 watts or whatever with it. It's like, holy cow! Yeah, he was right in there with the big guns. So that's a neat little transmitter. And what else did I write down here? 572Bs, yeah. I don't think you get any more power out of them as far as plate dissipation goes, but they will day and night, in 811 service, and they'll run forever. I mean, that's the good thing about them is they live so long. So they're kind of a bulletproof 811. There's another tube, and I can't remember what it was, but they made a heavy-duty version. It was an 8236, I believe, was like the industrial version. The Apollo amplifier, the 6-meter amplifier. But they were like I can't remember, 12AQ6 or something weird tube. I don't remember. But there's a few tubes out there like that. You don't really gain anything output-wise, but they're built like a battleship in comparison. So depending what kind of service you're using them in, I guess that makes all the difference. So anyway, signals are up and down a bit here. Brian, you're still strapping in. Bud was up and down a little, and Russ was as well. So Russ, maybe we'll hear you later with the Glob Queen. That's a transmitter I've always wanted to have. One of the either early 500 or late 400 with the Bakelite meters. Before they put those clear plastic meters in them. I like the older looking ones. I'd like That's not something I'm actively pursuing. Too many projects already. So with that, I'm not sure if Russ is going to jump back in or anybody else is. I think Russ signed. I think Budley said he was signing and you're signing as well. So I'll just throw it up in the air and say 7-3 for now, guys. And I'm sure we'll catch up with you later, maybe today, who knows. K1KQ, Gum Spring, Virginia. Clear with the group. We'll see you guys.
I'll say hello. I don't know if you're going to hear me, though. The conditions are kind of up and down. You copying this thing, Todd?
But I'm going to be going. So I pulled in. So I'll be heading out for lunch here. And good to hear you guys.
I guess Bud
BIL as Beaver. But very good. Yeah, well, the FT101E. Every time I'm on the What's for Internet, I'm on that radio, or a couple times if there's a sideband group I network, occasionally it's 3605, I'll use the Yazoo. So it's still going, and Todd, that's when Tinny was in remission the last time, I sent him two of the FT101Es. I got him from a friend whose dad had passed away, and he was just clearing out the basement and roof to hear about take these, you know. He was looking for a project, so I sent them to him, and I said, here you go, Tony, if you get one running, you know, go ahead and use it, and it's all yours. So, you know, Tim was such a great technician. He got both of them suckers on that. I found him was the one he used on the What's Internet many times. After he passed away, we were out at Timonium over at Frank's house, and Flo had brought this radio back to Tim. He wanted me to have it, so I got that, and it's still running great. In fact, it's fired up right now, and I'll be using it tonight on the What's Internet. But yeah, good times there, and yeah, the radio is working quite well. All right, guys, I'm gonna. Yeah, okay, Hans. You're getting hollered at here. Go get cleaned up and take the XYL out to a real nice lunch. She deserves it. She's got a day off. Take care, guys. Go to your DAPIL now. Stay with the group. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I tried giving Todd a call there, but Todd, I don't know if you're copying this thing or not. Are you hearing me there, Todd? I guess Todd signed out there, and I know you're signing out there too, bud. Queen Item X-Ray up here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, Steve, I can hear you, but just barely. You're just making over the noise. WA1QIX, K1KQ.
Yep, yeah, conditions for some reason between us, Todd, are not real good. I mean, your signal's good enough that I can hear you fine. I have very, very low noise level here, but it's been so long. I wanted to say hello to you. I wanted to say hello, and it's great to hear you on the radio. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, Steve, I think you turned it back over. Your audio is good and clear. You're right down there, and you're right, there's not a lot of noise on the band. There's a sideband station on there now. But, well, good to hear you too, Steve. It's been, gosh, quite a while. I moved again. We moved in 2019. We moved a little further south. I was in Northern Virginia, in North Carolina, and now we're down kind of in South Central Virginia. And I've just been getting the station back up and rolling here. last year or less. So I hope to get back up on 75 and 80 meters here soon. But I'm having a little trouble with the bigger rigs. So trying to just on the Apache today, the stock Apache with the ear-bleeding audio. So Steve, I'll send it back over to you. I don't know how well I'm plugged up right now here, but back she comes. The WA1QX, KA1KAQ.
Yeah, is this frequency any better, Todd? I zero beated your frequency. Is this a better frequency or no? Yeah, I zero beated your frequency instead of doubling. But then you didn't hear me at all. I think you're not hearing me. I think you have some kind of noise down there. There's no noise. You're not too strong, but I hear you fine because there's no noise. No noise here. I think you have noise there, though. You have noise there, so you probably not hear me very well. Okay, so you moved again. I did get that. You moved again. I got everything. You're 2.5 up here. You moved again. And what are you running for a transmitter now? What are you using now for transmit? Oh, you said using the Apache. Okay, yep, the Apache. Yep, very good. Well, it's working. It's working anyway. I won't keep you. I know conditions are not great between us, and you have some kind of noise at your end. So I just wanted to say hi to you. And so long. KAQ from WA1QIF.
Okay, Steve. I think you turned it back over to me. Yeah, I can hear you in there, Steve. It's just the band's not quite there yet. You came up, peaked a little bit that time, and then back down. I heard a little bit more of you, but I think the band between us right now just isn't quite there. So, or maybe it's going away. I don't know. But no, I'm just on the stock Apache with the stereo, and maybe that's what's making the difference here, so that you can hear me. But yeah, it's been a while, and like I say, I'm looking forward to spending more time on here as the months go by. I've been rather busy taking care of my elderly mother and trying to get her set up north, and hopefully that's going to be taken care of soon this summer and get the house sold and whatever else. So that's really been taking a lot of my time, as well as my shoulder surgeries. So that took me out of action for the better part of a year, I guess, getting both my shoulders worked on. So other than that, though, just trying to keep up with everything here. My daughter's 9 years old now, and it's just crazy. So let me send it back over, see if you're still hearing me. WA1QIX, KA1KAQ.
Yeah, I hear you perfectly. I mean, there's no problem hearing you. I have no noise. I have no noise at all up here. KA1KAQ, WA1QIX in New Hampshire. I've moved to New Hampshire. I live in central New Hampshire. So I moved also central New Hampshire. Up here in good old central New Hampshire. Yeah, the band is not real great. But I hear you fine. Anyway, I am going to sign out because I know you're having trouble. So I'm going to sign because you're having trouble. I hear you fine. I hear you just fine, but I know you're having trouble for some reason. So good to hear you, 7-3, and we'll talk to you when the band conditions are better. KA1KAQ, WA1QIF.
Okay, Steve, yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe my antenna's not very high here. I'm down behind a hill, so maybe you're just kind of skipping over the top of me. I mean, I'm hearing you. The audio's clear, but there's just not a lot of signal there right now. You're about an S1. So I think that's the only problem, is the band's just not cooperating. It's not reciprocal. I'm glad you're hearing me. That's kind of unusual, since I'm only hopping along here with 100 watts or less. But yeah, I remember, I think you're at Rattlesnake Island or something like that. I can't remember. I knew you had moved up, or you were getting ready to move up to New Hampshire. You bought a place up there, so I remember you mentioning that. Gosh, some years back now. Some time has gone by. But anyhow, yeah, we'll sign with you for now, Steve. And like I say, I look forward to getting back onto 80 meters at some point. Say hi to the crew on 75 and get down into the 80 meter portion. I always liked working down there once they expanded the phone band. It's nice down in that part of the band. So take care, Steve, and thanks for the shout. And maybe we'll see you on Snap. I don't even get on there that much anymore, but I need to probably hop on there and say hi to folks as well. Take care, Steve, and thanks for the shout. We'll look forward to chatting with you soon. WA1QIX from KA1KQ73.
I think there's somebody else in there. All right, 73 Todd. 73 there, Todd. Let's let you later under better conditions. 73s, and we'll catch you later. WA1QIX. We'll let you go, and we'll be listening around